I hope everyone can see this image. Um, so, is there anyone who can tell me what it is? If you can type it in the chat box.
Hi, good evening. This looks like a robot driving a car.
Yeah, that's right. It's a dummy, crash test dummy. That's right. So, did you know that women are more prone to accidents or injuries in a car while driving a car? And the same applies for the pilot seat or the crew seat or the seat in the airline. And why is this so? Because all these crash test dummies are tested for the male anatomy. So they are basically based on male anatomy and then tested, but none of them consider the female physiology and anatomy. So that's the problem. And this kind of sparks a problem. And don't you think it's time that more women get into aerospace and aviation and change this situation? So, good evening, all. I'm Lakshmi Shree Vijaykumar. A brief background about myself. First of all, I would thank WICCI, supported by IWPA and G100 Mission Million. So, I just want to introduce myself. So, basically, I'm an aviation systems engineer with around 15 years of experience, international experience. I've worked over 7 countries in 3 continents on various aircraft systems and aviation systems. Um, and I've also worked on all these, the whole system engineering, that is the whole concept, from the concept of developing a system to the delivery and certification to the client. So I'm also a tech enthusiast and a blogger, and I also give a lot of webinars and trainings. And just an educational background, I did my bachelor's in India in electronics and communication and master's in Toulouse, ISAE, and I also did digital transformation postgraduate diploma, followed by advanced space system certification recently with IISc. Can you please confirm to me that you can see the slide, the background slide?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, okay, okay, thank you. So, yeah, this was a brief introduction about myself. And today I'm here to talk about how to empower women to reach greater heights in aviation. So, first of all, this is the agenda. I'll start with why aviation, then followed by the runway, where preparing for takeoff, then followed by the flight plan, that is navigating the skies, followed by full throttle, that is accelerating success to innovation, then turbulence, handling challenges at 30,000 feet, and final approach, the path forward. So I'll start with why aviation. So aviation is a field which is usually aspirational and inspirational. So it's usually driven by passion and motivation, basically. People are intrigued by how aircrafts fly, and this is since I think, and since ever humanity existed. So, and since the Wright brothers invented flight. So followed by this, it's also multidisciplinary in nature. So you need a lot of systems coming together, like electrical, mechanical, hardware, and also followed with human factors. And these are all mission critical systems. So each aircraft will have a mission, either to carry passengers or to carry cargo or to rescue. Uh, each one has its own mission. And this aviation field also promotes leadership capabilities. And why is that so? Because the environment which we work on is dynamic and it's a high stake environment. And it's also a safety oriented field where safety is first. Uh, highly regulatory in nature. You have a lot of regulatory authorities, and it's a very hands on field. By hands-on, I mean that you have to be comfortable working with hardware and software, get your hands dirty, I mean. And it also has a global workforce diversity and interdependence. So basically, you have workforce from all over the world, and it's kind of interdependent on each other because an aircraft is built in several countries together and then assembled. So uh, all the parts come from various parts of the world. And this field is growing in demand in spite of its limitations. So, in spite of COVID-19, we have seen that the demand is simply rising. And it will keep rising. So, a future is bright in this aviation. So, by aviation, I mean aerospace systems, airport systems, and operations and maintenance, everything, and also airline. So these three main components make up aviation. To be a part of this field, you have to have um, like few skills, like niche skills, since it's a niche field. So you need to have understanding of systems or systems thinking, because everything is a system. Like if you're taking off and landing, you need lights. So there is a lighting system. And then if you're parking at the gate, then you have this parking visual guidance docking system. So each one is a system. And similarly, in the aircraft as well, you have like environmental control system for controlling the pressure and temperature inside the aircraft. And you also have flight control system to control the flight itself. These are some of the examples. And then it has diverse parts. So like I said, you have aerospace, airline, and airport. So you could, and within that, you have lots of things like you have operations, engineering, maintenance, finance, HR, everything comes into that. Um, and sales, marketing, of course, even that, and specialized skill set. So you will have to have a specialized skill set. You will have to go through some special certifications in addition to what you have studied in order to specialize and work in this field. And it's also a continuous learning field. So you'll have to keep upgrading yourself depending on how the technology is evolving and the regulations are also getting updated. Sorry. Then you have also technical skills. Of course, you need, it's a very pure technical field, I would say. You need to know how the aircraft works if you're in engineering and if you're designing or testing or even writing requirements, for example. And you have to have communication skills because um, in order to execute a project, there are a lot of stakeholders involved. Like there is like safety, there's operations, there's maintenance, there's end user. For example, in airports, there's air traffic controller or there's a pilot in the aircraft. So all these people have to understand what you said, and when you're building a system or executing a project, they need to know what exactly you're doing. So your communication skills have to be crisp and clear, and problem solving skills. So since there are a lot of interdisciplinary parts crossing each other, you will encounter problems which are interdisciplinary in nature as well. So you'll have to build these analytical and problem solving skills in order to troubleshoot and solve the problems. And apart from that, of course, your educational background matters. Like if you're an engineer, you will have to you could study electronics or mechanical or even software, and then you could take up aerospace. There is no need to study aerospace engineering as such. And similarly for the other educational backgrounds as well, if you've done like a business, if you want to get into business development or sales, uh, you'll have to have studied business administration and so on. Of course, like even like for air traffic controllers, there's a specialized course, and same for pilots as well. So, yeah. all these kinds of skills and educations are required for this field. Okay, so here I'm bringing a system engineering perspective. So having worked as a system engineer for like over a decade, and I would like to highlight that systems thinking is like a holistic thinking, which lets you look at a problem with variety of dimensions. You have hardware, you have software, but you also have human factors. So this human factors enables you to build a human-centered system, like human user-centered system. So understand what is the exact uh, requirements of the humans and then build the system based on that. So you have this run. So the slide says the runway preparing for takeoff. So for any takeoff, we prepare. There's a lot of preparation which goes into it. So similarly, I was just trying to list down what all you need when to empower girls in schools and colleges. So at various levels. So we'll first start off with the schools and colleges, then go to the corporate world, and then leadership. So firstly, it has to be part of the syllabus or education, little, I mean, at least basics of aviation, which is not there till now. And skill development, of course, you'll have to have these problem solving skills, analytical skills, communication skills, like basic skill development. Um, and access to fundings and scholarships. They should have access to kind of if they're interested, if they develop an interest in this field, they should be able to get some scholarships to pursue this field. And there can be some field trips or guest lectures by companies or a government to show that to demonstrate what is going on. Like if a company is building an aircraft, they can just take the students to the field, to their factory and show how things are built. And research mindset also needs to be encouraged at a small age. Of course, STEM outreach programs, which give you like hands-on experience. Social media promotions. By this I mean like if just to engage the public, companies can start they can start a social media account uh, for the aircraft they're building, or like if they're doing a public demonstration, they can showcase that. So just to engage, get the attention of the public, or and especially children and especially girls, because at least in this, if they have some interest and they win something, or they feel that they've achieved something, they will start to think that it can be taken further. For example, when the when NASA was developing rovers for Mars, namely, they asked the public to name the rovers, so that it was engaging, and the public could keep following up what happened to the rover even after it went to Mars. So this is one of the examples. And then you can give them access to flight simulators and exploration activities, and also virtual reality experiences at a very young age, followed by aviation themed challenges or competitions where they can think creatively how to solve existing challenges, or just how to build aircrafts innovatively. Apart from this, there is behind the scenes tours. Like they can be taken to like for airport for a day and see what happens behind the scenes, how the aircraft takes off and lands, what is the process involved. At a very young age, if they start to learn all this, they will develop the interest. Then followed by the flight plan. So flight plan is for navigating the skies. So here I mean the corporate world. So flight plan is basically a plan which has the route, the speed, the altitude, etc. for going from point A to point B. Similarly, once a girl is out of school or college, she needs to be able to navigate in the corporate world. That can be done by encouraging networking with professionals through LinkedIn or organizations such as these, WICCI and IWPA, etc. Also followed by mentorship programs so that they have a dedicated mentor who understands um, they understands their desires and then tries to implement them or like guide them in the right direction. Encourage career pivots. So each flight plan, if you're a pilot, you might know it has an alternative route. So you could encourage career pivots. So they might be in software, but they want to go to aerospace. So we should encourage that. Um, Provide access to opportunities and websites. So what are the opportunities which are available? Like what are the jobs or the internships available? They have to be listed in the websites and they should have access. And they should have access to webinars such as this and podcasts. Promote women to take leadership roles. So that is in companies, if more women are encouraged to take leadership roles, more women will get inspired. Same family friendly policies. So these are like to improve the work-life balance for women. It should be family friendly. Of course, equal pay. They should be compensated, well compensated for what they do equally. Okay, now I will move on to the next phase. So, like once you are in the corporate world, you will have full throttle. So that is put the full throttle to the power and uh, like accelerating success through innovation. So it's just like an example. So here, by innovation, I mean two kinds of innovation. So one is digital transformation, what you can see on the left side, and the other is through the processes. So it does not need to be purely on system side. It can also be like processes, existing processes which need some innovation. So let me take you through all the different kinds of future trends, or I would say even current trends which are going on in this industry, and how you can innovate in this field. So sustainability is one of the main concepts. So we're trying to reduce the carbon footprint all over the world, and this is one of the key factors since aviation is one of the major contributors for carbon footprint. I would say sustainability is very important, and also to save our planet itself. Um, there are more and more electric aircrafts coming up, as you know. Then you also have digital twins of aircrafts or airports. If you're wondering what a digital twin is, so it's like a simulation or a replica of a real airport or an aircraft where you can look at the model and you can analyze, you can play various scenarios and you can analyze how they play out and how to maintain the system better, how to design or implement the system better, how it can be used better. So all these kind of things. So digital twins are like a big help. Autonomous systems, so you have a lot of unmanned systems which are coming up. You like something similar to the drone industry, and drone industry also has a life on its own. You have a lot of career options in that. Then followed by advanced air mobility. So you have eVTOLs and vertiports. So uh, to reduce the traffic congestion in cities, in urban and suburbs, you have these eVTOLs and vertiports coming up. And 3D printing and manufacturing. So these are encouraged now in order to also quicken the printing process and also to promote sustainability. And smart devices or airports. So there's always a customer which is first and it's hyper personalized and everything. I think even the gates, for example, in the airport are smart. So you have all kind of smart devices nowadays, and this will just continue to grow. Then you have remote traffic control towers. That is, the airport might be in one part of the world, but the tower can be in another part of the world. So this concept is also gaining traction. So these are some of the examples of the system which I gave. So if you go to process, there are some on the right, that is online learning or coaching or workforce development. This is required. Like for example, if someone wants to get um, educated on AI, how to implement AI in their work today, so they'll have to go through this online learning. Then you have AI-based recruitment and mentoring software, um, which will have a fair recruiting policy, I would say. This has to be programmed to have fair recruitment and mentor matching capabilities. And you have AI translation tools, because there are not everybody understands English, or they would be comfortable to learn some things in their own languages. And of course, companies promoting innovation. So companies have to encourage women to innovate and fail fast and fail safe. This is one of the key innovation factors these days. Okay, so turbulence. So there is always turbulence. Each flight encounters turbulence of some kind. So you have like a lot of in our corporate careers, you have a lot of market shifts. You have some workplace discrimination. You will have some societal biases. So we need to fight all that. And how can you do that? So, aviation as a field builds leadership capabilities inherently. So, if you're in aviation, you already start developing these qualities. So, they should be exercises to sharpen them or hone them. Given if you're rising up the ladder, these trainings are more essential, so that you start data driven decision making, which we always do in aviation. You cannot go by gut feeling alone, even though it's just uh, even if you're a pilot or a air traffic controller, gut feeling alone will not suffice if the data is not on your side, is not favorable. And eliminate biases or gender gaps. This has to be a conscious effort. The training has to be given to men and women to eliminate this. Crisis management, of course, everybody goes through emergency and rescue procedures and all procedures in aerospace. So we're always prepared for crisis, and we know how to better manage crisis. Communication, like I said, it's very important. And as a leader, communication is supreme. So you will have to have crisp and clear communication and motivate your team and ensure that their vision is aligned with yours and also the company's. Stretch assignment. So aviation as a field is I would say it's very intriguing, and you have different kinds of assignments. I think it's not like the monotonous kind of projects or systems which you work on. You will have some change or the other, and it's always good to take up stretch assignments, like go outside your comfort zone and do something which you're not doing today. So if you're, for example, if you are in working in uh, as an air traffic controller, or if you're working in the airport in one of the cabin crew or something like that, you can go and check how the other systems work, like what are the how the baggage handling works and what goes on in the tower, just to get yourself educated. Maybe if a role comes up there, like an administrative role, then you can go apply. So all these are like stretch assignments. Whatever is within your reach, you can check, or even you can research on the site. Upskilling, you always need to upskill to keep up with uh, the evolutions of the technology. So even if you're a leader, you will have to do this throughout your life. Make sure you're a lifelong learner. And driving transformation. So this is always a challenge. A leader has to drive transformations. Like everything nowadays is transforming to AI. So you will have to be uh, confident to take up this challenge, because there's a lot of resistance. There will be a lot of resistance in your team and in general in the workforce. So you'll have to fight that. You'll have to convince them, and this is a key skill, I would say. And innovation culture building. So we will have to keep up with innovation or the technology these days, because there is part of the air which is the aircraft which is getting updated. Similarly, the ground equipment also needs to get updated, or the airport. So both have to be in sync. So innovation culture is very important, so that you don't get left behind. And if you are in companies where you have competitors, so there is chances of your competitors taking over. So we have to keep an eye on the innovation for sure. And yeah, so there has to be like accelerators to encourage entrepreneurship. So accelerators can be formed by associations or communities or networking organizations, or even the government or the state government itself, to encourage entrepreneurship, especially for women. And staffing policies for corporate etc etc has to be revised and by companies, and like they have to be reviewed and seen, like if there are enough women on the workforce, then they have to be addressed accordingly. Policies by the governments, of course, government policies go a long way in encouraging women, whether if it's at school level or college level or even at the corporate level. So all the policies by governments have to be checked and aligned to make sure that women are more encouraged, and they get that push which they really deserve. So what we saw was there was the runway, which was like the infrastructure in the school and colleges. So there was a runway which was prepared for takeoff, and then there was the flight plan. Then there was full throttle for innovation. So now we have the final approach. So once you become a leader, so what you'll have to do is you'll have to make sure somebody takes that legacy forward. So it has to be like kind of like a selfless approach, I would say, because being a good leader is not enough unless you give back to the community. So what you have to do is you have to identify and mentor or sponsor the right talent within the company, like whatever within your reach, whatever you can do, you will have to you can do that, just to give some encouragement to the right talent. And you can also promote autonomy and decision making opportunities, give the person all this in an early stage, so that they're more confident with their leadership abilities. And share knowledge, yeah, by through webinars like these, or even if you're inside within a company, you can have company webinars and seminars, just to exchange knowledge, just to show them what you've learned. You can build sustainable legacies for the future generation. Basically, yeah, this is what I was meaning. And encourage forward thinking initiatives. So this is again coming to uh, innovation. In a sense, innovation not only in terms of systems but also in processes. So you can forward, you need to be knowing what are the trends which are going on, or like the top trends which are going on across the world, and integrate them into your work culture, so that you don't get left behind. Again, you need to encourage remote work, just making the company like a satisfiable place for the employees, especially the female employees, and also give a lot of importance to diversity, equity, and inclusion, to ensure that women are part of the table, for part of the conversations, and have effective conversations which have impact, and basically create opportunities for others to thrive. So this is the duty of a leader, whether you're in aviation or any other world. So I just want to finish off by saying that women who lead don't just fly higher, they lift others above them. So they lift others with them. So this is my contact details. I'm available on LinkedIn or email. You can just send me a connection invite. I also write this Cosmic Signature newsletter, which focuses on aerospace and space systems and the updates. So yeah, any questions? Thank you all for listening patiently.
Thank you, Lakshmi. It was a wonderful session, and especially the way you linked it everything to the flight course. That was really amazing, and it was very insightful. And each of the points that you stated were so methodically listed and explained. Thank you so much for the session, and really look forward to staying in touch with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present. It's an honor to be present here along with other speakers and occasion of the International Women's Day, which is coming up. So, and thank you so much, Lynn, for all the encouragement and support.
And Lakshmi, I have also studied in Toulouse aviation law, so I was really thrilled to see Toulouse on your
Oh, really?
biodata.
That's nice. In which university?
Capitol.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I was in the ISAE in
Yes,
Supe.
yes. Super. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Lakshmi, thank you so much. It was excellent. Especially the part where you made it very clear that everything's mission centric when you start itself, because that's something I've been telling people all along. They try to, fit the solution to the problem. You generally design, like, or you find the solution from according to the mission, right? So that
Yes,
was
exactly.
something which was very good. And many things I just liked. It was excellent. Everything was.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I wanted
Thank
to
you,
give
Lakshmi.
other people to talk. That's why I'm quiet.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Lakshmi. This is Tanvi Karnik from IWPA. I'm a pilot myself, and I was really very impressed by the approach you took about designing the entire talk, especially linking it so thoroughly with aviation and thoroughly explaining all the processes. Thank you very much for the
Thank you.
lovely, all including the promotion of aviation, including, I loved how you included keeping up with the dynamic culture, like including social media, AI. It was really lovely.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tanvi.
If anyone else wants to say anything, they can go ahead. There's hardly a minute left. All right, then Lakshmi, thank you so much. We'll close, I think, because nobody has anything to ask, I guess, now. And you can always connect on the group as well. That's why we have the group. So if anyone wants to connect later, they can still, look for you on the group or something.
Thank you, Captain Sangeeta. I just saw your message. Yes, thank you, Lynn. For sure, we will connect with, I'll check the group and